There is absolutely no way around it. Somebody is definitely getting knocked out here. Bellator 225 is this weekend. We finally have Bellator fights. Bellator is amongst the best of the promotions, and finally they are back. And they're starting it off in Connecticut with Bellator 225. The main two fights we're going to be talking about here, because it's literally the clash of heavyweights. And probably most certainty, the winner of the co-main event will fight the winner of the main event, and so on and so forth. Now, when we look at the co-main event, we look at two huge heavyweights, and one of them being one of those huge names that is looked at like in a godlike status coming from Russia, and that is Vitaly Minakov. And he is going up against heavy hitter slugger Javy Ayala. Now, Minakov coming up short in his last fight via unanimous decision against Czech Congo. Czech Congo got back the loss he received from Minakov years ago, still under the Bellator umbrella. Since then, he has been tremendously active under the Fight Nights global promotion in Russia, beating the likes of ex-UFC top contender and Strikeforce top contender in Bigfoot Silva, Geronimo dos Santos, and in his latest, before coming back to Bellator, and Tony Johnson. He is a devastating knockout power being, and he's got tremendous ground game as well. These Russians, not only are they tough, not only are they durable, and not only can they give you life-threatening / ending strikes, their grappling and jiu-jitsu game and cardio tank are absolutely phenomenal. And in this case, those variables still tend to be true when we're talking about Vitaly Minakov. And if he doesn't knock you out, don't slip up and give him your arm, because he will take it back to Russia with him. Now, Javy Ayala might be way in over his head here. I know he's coming off a very devastating knockout victory over Frank Mir, but in my opinion, that's because Frank Mir slipped up, got emotional, and fell right into the game plan of Javy Ayala, and that's just basically brawl and throw the whole MMA thing out the damn window. Javy Ayala, I don't want to knock him. Not only is he tough, he has beat a big name. In fact, one of the names that's on the main event, we'll get to that in just a second. If he catches you with one of his bombs, he is going to put you to sleep, but as a fighter, he is very, very one-dimensional. He has no ground game. What are you going to do when somebody like Vitaly gets a hold of you, who is much bigger than you, or if he decides to switch it up and pull guard on you? Javy could be in for a world of hurt. Not only that, Vitaly is a much larger striker in terms of reach, not only just in size, and that could be a big factor here, because while Javy throws those looping punches, Vitaly is a very linear striker. His boxing is impeccable, especially for the magnitude of being that this guy is, and I just don't see Javy Ayala getting inside the reach and turning this into his style fight. Vitaly is too veteranized. These Russians are too emotionless when it comes to fighting. They just stick to their game plan, and his game plan, in my opinion, is going to be outbox you and take you to the ground first chance he gets and knock you the hell out or submit you, whatever you give him first, because like I said, he's a well-rounded fighter. I do have this for Vitaly Minakov in the second round, the absolute latest. I think Javy Ayala's cardio will not hold up, and when he gets tired, I think he's going to slip up, and that's where Vitaly's going to capitalize on. Now, when we go to the main event, we have a rematch between longtime UFC vet and longtime now Bellator vet. We are talking about Matt Mitrione facing off once again against Sergei Kharitonov. Matt Mitrione is 0 in his last 2. Of course, the last one going up against Sergei Kharitonov is kind of like it almost didn't even happen. It was a DQ. Sorry, it was a no contest due to an illegal groin strike. It's not the 1990s, so it's not legal anymore. So they had to stop the fight because the fighters could not continue, and thus this is the rescheduling of that bout. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Right before this, if anybody remembers, Matt Mitrione faced off against Ryan Bader in the semifinals of the World Heavyweight Grand Prix and literally got manhandled by a far smaller guy and just thrown around the ring for 15 solid minutes. And in my opinion, that was a real shot to his confidence. Luckily for him, he doesn't have a very, very technical wrestler on his hands here. Sergei Kharitonov, whilst being a well-rounded mixed martial artist, he is probably going to stand and give you the exact fight that you want, and that is exchanging blows. Do I think that's a good gameplay? No, because Sergei Kharitonov, if anybody knows who that is, he is very crafty on the ground as well, submitting John Delgado and Geronimo dos Santos back in the Russian leagues, but nonetheless, fantastic submissions that really, in my opinion, Matt Mitrione doesn't really have the tools to kind of pull off. He just likes to get in there and put a show for his fans on, and most of the time he does. That's one thing for sure. He doesn't give up. He has a heart of the lion. Even when he fought Fedor, that almost near double knockout, he came back right away and got all over Fedor and ended up getting the finish. You can't count him out of any fight. This guy has fought so many of the big ranked heavyweights that the sport has to offer back in the UFC, knocking out Sean Jordan, Derek Lewis, Gabriel Gonzaga fighting Ben Rothwell, Roy Nelson twice. But obviously Matt Mitrione is hoping to get back in the win column here, because another loss here would put him 0 in his last 3 fights, and that's not somewhere where Matt Mitrione wants to be, nor is it somewhere where Matt Mitrione has been in the past in his career. Keys to victory, Matt Mitrione, I say just push him against the fence. Tire Sergei out. Just play dirty boxing with him against the fence, maybe take it to the ground, hopefully against the cage, where you can get off some ground and pound and just wear damage and get some points on those judges' scorecard. Because I don't think this is going to be a finish, at least an easy finish for you. Sergei Kharitonov, on the other hand, keep this at a distance and try to outstrike Matt Mitrione. Getting close, take it to the ground, maybe even pull guard, and try your submission game against someone of that caliber, which is not a high caliber at all. If I do have to call who's going to win here, I think Matt Mitrione's got the edge. The reason is his resume since the beginning of his career. First of all, the beginning of his career was born in the UFC, where Sergei Kharitonov, although he's got a fantastic long record, in my opinion, most of it's padded against guys that we're not really familiar with, or against guys that are hugely sub 500. I'm talking about you. So could you. I think the relentless pressure of Matt Mitrione is going to get him the nod here. He is going to really tire Sergei Kharitonov out. I don't think he's going to have the ability to finish him, at least in the earlier rounds, maybe in the 4th round. But if I am going to have to call it, I think his relentlessness, his heart of a lion, his tenacity, his power, and the fact that he's an ex-footballer, he does have very, very good stamina and able to pick up that second wind when you least expect it. I think he's able to carry it into that decision and get the nod from at least 2 of the 3 judges, because really that's all you friggin' need. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, now that the Bellator is really starting to throw cards out there, you're going to see these pre-fight predictions for those as well more consistently. We might even get the PFL in the near future, as they're starting to get some huge fighters on their roster as well. Remember to like, dislike, doesn't matter. Leave a comment, positive, negative, don't matter. The only thing that matters is you engage and you share to all your friends, family, people you love or you hate. Don't matter, homie and homettes. Love you guys. We're going to see you next week. Peace.